HOYOVERSE has created a monster. Imagine that there is a character who can bring us more than Kazuha. That can with cooldowns match more and better on all teams than Kazuha. And that only in contrast to putting together or not compensates us with being able to activate a better consonants than consonants. Kamo de Katsuha, who is Geo, and besides healer. Imagine that a single character with a spectacular design can revive only a complete element, such as Geo, which together with the physicist is to this day the most wasted and useless. Oh my god, I wanted to make this video. A good ulti of VNed, subscribe, leave a good comment for algorithm. You know I support a lot. It helps a lot. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Running I watch you. Thanks for that like. Thank you very much. And it helps the channel. It recommends the video. It positions itself. It explodes. And this video specifically I think is necessary. Today we're going to talk over the Xilonen kit. In depth, the kit with details and much more technical. Today I will speak above it, but how important you have to understand, I'm going to explain it in this video. Surely or not, I hope not, that literally revives the Geo, which will be best in slot of NATLAN's teams in general. On many teams outside NATLAN's teams, we'll talk about Xilonen today. What's so special about Xilonen, and why are you looking at memes out there that Xilonen is going to bury Kazuha, or that it's better? Well, we start from the base that Xilonen is healer Geo. Xilonen does not have many scale damage or many multi-hits and their healing scale with defense, which is going to play NATLAN's new set. But literally or triple defense with recharge or double defense with a helmet probability to carry a sword of Favonius. And on top of being a battery and on top of the sword you carry is not going to hurt you unlike Kazuha. Because Kazuha, if you put a Favonius #1, he's not gonna wear Kazuha a helmet of probability to lose mastery of the sword and mastery of the helmet, and that you wear a helmet of mastery, and do not jump the Favonius despite wearing Favonius, because you don't make critics and yet Xilonen with double defense and probability, helmet with a Favonius is going to be totally yes. It's worth it, and you won't be losing anything unlike Kazuha with the master's degree and his bonus elemental damage. #1, body. #2. The ease of construction is literally NATLAN's new set of supports. That is to say, the one that is orange-brown, that is the one that gives us bonus elemental damage, and is to carry the triple defense with recharge, and point with which is supposedly from the simplest items in the history of farming, and here comes the strong. Xilonen basically relies on the following. It's a Geo healer support that has some restrictions that I'm not going to go into. They tie in them because they have done it in the kit, but who has read the kit and does not understand those restrictions is summed up very easy. Those restrictions are so that you can't play Xilonen on triple Geo teams, because being healer Geo would be a team. Triple Geo of Xilonen, Fiorina C2, Ito, Goru for example, too broken. Our restrictions not to play that team of Ito, Goru Chinix, Fiorina C2 and Xilonen. Outside of all that, Xilonen is a character who has a restriction not to do that, and is that he gets his best version and activates all its passives in teams where you have two elements other than Geo inside the elements that are going to make crystallize, i.e. Pyro, Cryo, Hydro, and Electro. If you have two of these active, all the Xilonen kit. We start with the strong. Xilonen is a supporting character of NATLAN with rotation of only 15 seconds with which you can adapt to teams of 15, 16, 18 and 20, i.e. for all teams with Arcante cooldowns, as I told you that. But so powerful Emily for it and other characters with adaptive rotations close to 15 that are literally Arcante cooldowns, costing 60, remembering that the set of NATLAN makes you 6 points of energy for the character and Xilonen has a talent of Ascension that activates the Nightbuster that is this passive of NATLAN, that if it activates both the one of Xilonen and the burst, Noctambule of the normal passive are 2 loads with which the set of NATLAN will regenerate you not 6 but 12 points of energy. The character itself, with which Xilonen has cost of 48, is of the lowest costs of the whole game, with which you have 2. Look for defense, but it's just that you don't even have to look for recharge, and the strength of Xilonen is the following set when you do. A reaction with a concrete element, that is to say, you're going to buckate so much to Xilonen's own geo element, and if you go with 2 geos by. Example Navia as to the specific element that makes the reaction is to say a Mohalani carry, since to the Hydro, an Arlecchino carry. Well, to the Pyro of Arlecchino and Nuvillet, that you can play Xilonen with Nuvillet, then to the Hydro, and so on always. We're going to make a crystallized, you're going to buff rate 40% the bonus elemental damage, and 20 seconds Kazuha Bufa, just 10 seconds, and it's over. The Bufo with which it is very limited, and Xilonen gives the same Bufo twice the time for long rotations of more equipment. Adapted to 20 seconds last Xilonen. And here is the most important thing, your elementary skill has a small mechanics. Very simple, in which you will activate the Noctambulism points as well as the other characters, a lot of text and things that players will say well and learn it later that this is a lot of skill text, but the summary is, and here it comes. How strong if Xilonen has 2 elements external to the geo that you can make a crystallized, as I just to explain is to say, among the 4 elements that react with Geo, basically you are going to decrease to 40% of resistances, 36 to talent 10 to talent 13. You get to 40% lower resistances, but 36, talent 10, is almost the same as the green shadow you go. To lower resistance to those 2 elements of your team, if for example you play a team of Mualani, Emily, Mavuka, Bardeha, Xiangling Bar, that is being played like this now in last character because you book Xilonen. You will lower resistances so much to the Pyro as the Moalani Hydro, and the Pyro that you accompany to make burn along with the Dendrook Xilonen, low to talent 10. Of your elemental, a 36% of resistances like the green shadow and like Kazuja, to 2 elements, but is that above it does it during 15 seconds, which the green shadow is only for 10 Xilonen low resistances, as well as the green shadow 15 seconds. I said, as opposed to being able to gather enemies as Kazuya compensates you by being healer, is the healer of the team is the equivalent to Bennett or Kuki is the support par excellence of many teams and most of Natland, and you will tell because the truth is that you sold Xilonen Phil very well. It's broken. Now I understand memes. And I understand that people are scared of Xilonen, my friend. He hasn't told you about C2. You're still ready to know what C2 does. C2 has synergy with skill. Elemental that lowers resistances to 2 elements that are in your team, the C2 makes that, according to the elements found. On your team, you will buffet such elements as follows. If you have a Geo goes and will always activate the is passive. Geo, with the character's Geo, is going to give the Geo of team 30 probability, so it's useless. And if you're going to play Xilonen with Navia, Xilonen, Furina Navia Bennett, who will be your new best in slot Navia, will win 30 critical probability. If you're going to bring a Hydro, i.e. you play Xilonen with Novelet or Mualani, for example, as Hyper carries Hydro. In the field that Hydro will receive 40% of maximum life, remembering that Novelet and Mualani have very easy to weather the proportion. Critical if you have a Pyro on the team is to say that you play a Xilonen, for example, with an Arlecchino carry, or on some team of gaming, for example, descending replacing any other character, that Pyro will win 40% attack. And if you carry for example, Xilonen playing in Raiden Hyper, carry on a Raiden team. Sarah Xilonen Bennett replacing Kazuha Electros recover 20 power points and reduce 5 seconds their cooldowns. So if you play a Raiden with 18 cooldown, Sarah with 20 cooldown, Xilonen with 15 and Bennett with 15, that Raiden Hyper carry becomes a Raiden Hyper carry with an incredible hyper battery of electrical consonants plus Raiden, which is battery with end. A possible Xilonen Favonius with rotation of 15 and not 20, which is Sarah's cooldown apart from Xilonen's weapon as well. Bufa the elementary year of the team, no more questions. Mr. HOYOVERSE has created, in my opinion, it will negerate in my D. Review a C2 exceeds Kazuha a C2 on all teams, and in my opinion Achero will be best in slot of the majority, not to say all. NATLAN teams will seek Xilonen until the end of the release soup. So far, the video leave a good like a good. Ben Utility subscribe to you, leave a good comment for algorithm. That's why he's talking so much about Xilonen, really, because I think I've explained it and you've understood very easily and very well. Thanks for supporting the channel. You know it doesn't cost you anything. Every like is a wish. You're gonna save yourself for Xilonen, so exploit this video to the like button and break it explode, and thank you for all the support. You know it doesn't cost you anything, help a lot. The channel is positioned, is recommended, grows the channel, grows the champ. Video more people see it. This is important to see it. Many people and little more taken care of much. You have very good day and bye.